The forest of Varen Prime was not like any ordinary alien world. It breathed. It moved. It listened. Every leaf carried a faint glow, like the forest had swallowed starlight and stored it inside its veins. Every sound carried a strange echo, as if something unseen repeated the noise from deeper in the dark. And today, a single human walked straight into it. His name was Evan Hawley, an explorer working for the human colony orbiting the planet. He was not a soldier, not a fighter, just a scout with strong nerves, stubborn will, and a strange hunger for danger. Some people said he was fearless. Others said he simply didn't know when to turn back. But today, he was walking into a place where even fearless humans refused to go. This forest belonged to a species called the Varen, a race of tall, sharp, instinct-driven warriors who were famous for one thing. They bite, not just in battle, but in bonding, in dominance, and in mating. Stories said they were territorial, unpredictable, and ruled by primal instinct. Stories said a human entering their forest would not survive longer than 5 minutes. Evan had now been inside for 20. He tightened the strap of his scanner pack and looked around. Glowing moss covered the trees, lighting the path like soft blue lanterns. Mist drifted across the ground like low clouds. Strange insects shimmered above him, leaving trails of silver light in the air. Evan whispered to himself, "Well, if I die today, at least the view's nice." But even he could feel something watching him. He wasn't alone, not even close. Every few steps, something shifted behind the trees, never fully seen, never fully hidden. A branch bent when nothing touched it. A low growl vibrated through the air, too deep for a normal animal. And once, he could swear he heard breathing right behind his neck. He spun around. No one, but the feeling didn't go away. Someone was following him. The stalker in the TRE-7 continued deeper. His scanner beeped loudly. Life form detected unknown large CLOs. He stopped walking. The forest became silent. Too silent. He called out, keeping his voice steady. "If someone's out there, I'm not here for trouble. I'm just mapping the area." No reply. But he felt movement again, closer, slower, more confident. Something was circling him. He felt his heart beat louder, but he refused to step back. A small smile appeared on his face. "All right then. Let's see who you are." The air behind him rippled like a heat wave. Something stepped out. He turned and froze. The Varen W. She was tall. Taller than any human woman he'd ever seen, maybe 6'4". Lean but strong, like a hunter carved from shadow and moonlight. Her skin had a faint silver sheen that caught the forest glow. Her eyes were sharp and bright, like molten metal. 2 fangs showed when she breathed. And her voice, when she spoke, was a low, controlled growl. "You should not be here, human." Evan raised his hands slowly. "I didn't mean to trespass." "You did." She walked around him in a slow circle, each step light, but powerful like a predator studying prey. Her gaze never left his throat. "My people are not calm around outsiders." "So I've heard," Evan replied lightly. She narrowed her eyes. "Then why do you stay?" "Curiosity," he said. "And because running usually makes predators chase harder." A faint smirk touched the corner of her lips. "You understand more than most." She moved closer, too close. He could feel the warmth of her breath on his neck. The closeness felt dangerous, but not in a way that made him want to step back. She inhaled softly, almost like she was smelling him. "You are not afraid," she murmured. Her voice sounded surprised. "And something else interested." "I didn't say that," Evan replied. "I'm just good at not showing it." She looked into his eyes for a long moment. Then she said a sentence that made his skin tingle. "My people bite during mating." Evan blinked. "Okay, that's good to know." "It was not a threat," she added quietly. "It was a warning." She stepped back slightly. studying him the way a scientist might study a rare creature. Humans should not walk here, especially alone. Well, Evan said, shrugging. Here I am. And here I am, she replied calmly. Preventing your death. The forest tests Shyam. She turned sharply and motioned for him to follow. Come, if you move wrong, you will die. That's comforting, Evan muttered. But he followed anyway. She walked ahead silently, her movements almost invisible. Evan noticed she kept glancing back at him, not suspiciously, but protectively. The forest grew darker the deeper they went. The trees became tall enough to block the sky, their glowing roots twisting like serpents across the path. Something hissed at his feet. Lynera. He still didn't know her name, yet grabbed his wrist and yanked him back. A vine snapped up from the ground, dripping green venom. That would have melted your leg, she said simply. Thanks. You are welcome, she replied. But she didn't let go of his wrist for several seconds. The watchers aped as they walked. Evan noticed shadows in the treetops. Glowing eyes watching him. Bodies shifting silently. Are those your people? He whispered. Double quotes, yes. Her voice grew tight. They watch because they do not trust your scent. My scent? She nodded once. Courage has a smell. Prey has another. You smell confusing. Evan laughed softly. I confuse people often. This is not funny, she snapped. My people do not like confusion. They react with teeth. Your people sound intense. They are. Her eyes softened slightly. And they are watching us right now. Evan looked up. 4 Varen hung from the branches like giant panthers, claws digging into the bark, eyes fixed on him. They weren't breathing loudly. They weren't growling. They were waiting. For what? He didn't know. He whispered. So, should I wave or something? Lynera stiffened. Do not speak. Do not smile. And do not bare your throat. Why? What does that mean? She hesitated. It means invitation. Invitation to what? Her eyes locked with his, mating. Evan nearly tripped. Oh, good to know. The watchers moved overhead, following their steps. Lynera suddenly quickened her pace. We must move faster. Why? Because they think I am interested in you. Evan blinked. Are you? She didn't answer, which, strangely, felt like an answer. The truth behind the warning. After almost an hour of walking, they reached a clearing. Moonlight poured down from above. The ground was covered in glowing flowers that opened when they stepped near them. Lynera stopped in the middle of the clearing. Her posture changed, more guarded, more serious. She finally told him her name. My name is Lynera of the Varen. Evan Hale, he replied. She gave a slow nod. Evan Hale. You walked into this forest knowing the danger. My people attack anything that smells unfamiliar. They test fear. They test strength. They test blood. And what about you? He asked quietly. Lynera's eyes softened again, but her voice grew lower. I am different. I smell intent. And you came with no threat. I just came to explore, Evan said simply. And yet, she stepped close again. You did not run when you saw me. You did not fear when I warned you. You did not shake when my people watched you. I don't want to insult your people, Evan said, but fear usually makes things worse. Lynera exhaled slowly. You are strange, human. I get that a lot. She circled him once more, slower this time. Not like a hunter, but like someone trying to understand something important. Finally she spoke. You asked earlier why I warned you that my people bite during mating. Yes, it was not because I thought you feared the idea. She moved even closer. I warned you because my people react to strength. And you smell like strength. Too much. Is that a bad thing? For you? Yes, she pointed to the trees. They think you are a challenger. Or a potential mate. Both are dangerous. Evan raised an eyebrow. Is that why they keep watching me? No. Her voice dropped to almost a whisper. They watch you because I touched you. Evan blinked. When you grabbed my wrist? Yes, to save your life. But they will not see it that way. So what do they think it means? Lynera swallowed slowly, her throat tightening. They think I claimed you. Evan stared at her. Claimed me how? As a potential partner. Oh, Evan said. Then after a moment, well, that explains the staring. Lynera stepped closer, eyes glowing brighter. You do not understand the danger now. If they believe I claimed you, they will test you. They will test me. Test us for what? To see if the claim is real. Her voice trembled slightly. And if it is worthy. She leaned forward until her lips were inches from his ear. If they smell fear, they will tear you apart. Stay close. Do not run. Evan felt her breath on his skin. The forest darkened around them as more shadows moved in the trees. He didn't back away. He didn't tremble. Instead, he gave her a small, calm smile. I'll stay close. Her eyes widened a fraction, surprised again at his lack of fear. Branches above shifted. Something huge descended from the trees. Evan and Lynera both turned as 3 Varen warriors landed around them. Forming a circle, their growls shook the ground. Lynera stepped in front of Evan. Her body tense, claws out. It was clear. The 3 Varen warriors circled them, their muscles coiled like spring-loaded weapons. Glowing eyes fixed on Evan, reflecting the pale light of the alien moon above. Every step they took made the ground tremble slightly. Their claws dug into the soil. The air smelled of metal and fear. Evan stood perfectly still. His heart beat fast, but he kept it under control. He had learned in the forest that fear was louder than any sound, and showing it could get him killed. Lynera moved in front of him, her presence a shield. Her claws flexed, and her silver eyes darted between Evan and the intruders. She growled softly, low in her throat, a warning, a declaration. You will not harm him, she said, voice like steel. The alpha among the 3 warriors snarled and took a step closer. His head was larger than Evan's torso, fangs glinting dangerously in the moonlight. Lynera's ears twitched. She positioned herself slightly ahead, the faint silver sheen of her skin reflecting the dim glow of the forest. They smell him, she whispered to Evan. The scent. It confuses them. Human courage. It's unfamiliar. It challenges them. Evan nodded, keeping his hands slightly raised but relaxed. I guess that's good? She didn't answer. Instead, she studied the alpha, and then she whispered, they will test you. If you fail, they will bite. The first test effort of Alpha lunged suddenly, faster than Evan expected. The sound of his roar pierced the quiet forest, shaking loose leaves from the trees. Evan froze. His body screamed to run, but he didn't move. Lynera stepped in front, claws extended. But she didn't attack the Alpha. She held him back with a soft growl, as if saying, this is your fight too, human. The Alpha circled Ivan slowly, sniffing, growling. His fangs gleamed. The air around him felt like it had sharpened into knives. Evan remembered her words. If they smell fear, they will tear you apart. He focused on breathing slowly. One step at a time. He didn't flinch when the Alpha snapped inches from his face. He didn't blink. He didn't turn his head. The Alpha paused. He sniffed again. Then he snarled, but this time it was quieter. He backed a step. The other 2 warriors watched, tense, unsure. Lynera exhaled softly. She didn't say a word, but her body relaxed slightly. Evan's calm had worked. He had passed the first test. The second TESTPA, and the 3 Varen warriors moved closer, forming a tighter circle. Linera stepped slightly aside, letting them approach. "This is the second test," she murmured. "Pain. They will bite you, but it is not meant to kill. Only to judge your strength, endurance, and resolve." Evan swallowed hard. He had heard the stories. The Varan bite could break bones, puncture skin, and leave venom that burned through flesh. "Ready?" Linera asked. Evan nodded. He had no choice. "Yes." The alpha lunged again, this time landing a fast, precise strike to his shoulder. Its fangs barely grazed the skin, but it stung like fire. Evan gritted his teeth and didn't scream. Another warrior struck, aiming for his leg. Evan staggered slightly, but stayed upright. The third moved faster than he could track, raking across his back with claws. The pain shot through him, but he held his ground. Linera growled sharply at each warrior, but she didn't intervene. She let them test him, letting him show his resolve. When the attack stopped, Evan was panting. His shirt was torn, his skin scratched. But he was standing. Linera approached and touched his shoulder gently. "You endure pain like a Varine," she said quietly. "You are strange and brave." Evan gave her a small, tired smile. "I told you I don't show fear." She didn't answer. Her eyes reflected both admiration and disbelief. His courage, something so simple to humans, was extraordinary to her kind. The third test. Trust. Linera's tone changed as she spoke next. "The final test is trust. You must let me." She hesitated, looking at the warriors around them. "You must allow me to bite you last. Not as a threat, as a declaration. This is a ritual of acceptance among my people." Evan's eyes widened. "You mean, you want me to let you bite me?" She nodded. "It will not kill you, but it will show everyone, including your fear, that you belong if you survive it." Evan looked at the warriors. Their eyes were like molten metal. They had sharp teeth, sharper claws, and instincts that could kill him in seconds. And yet, he didn't feel fear. He took a deep breath. He stepped forward and tilted his head slightly, exposing his throat. Linera's eyes widened, just a fraction, in shock. "You understand the ritual," she said softly. "Humans never do this willingly." Evan's smile was calm, almost serene. "I trust you." The warriors froze. Whispers of clicks and growls passed between them. Even the alpha lowered his head slightly, confused by this human's bravery. Linera hesitated for a heartbeat. Then she leaned closer. Her fangs grazed his neck, not biting fully. The sensation was electric, alien, and frightening, but Evan didn't move. She pulled back slightly, her silver eyes studying him. "You passed." The warriors murmured among themselves, surprised. No human had ever passed the 3 tests. None had ever stood their ground so completely, showing fearlessness, endurance, and trust all in one display. The revelation. Linera finally spoke, quietly enough that only Evan could hear. "My people, they respect strength. But your courage, it is unusual. Not just strength, not just endurance. You do not fear death." Evan wiped sweat from his brow. "I guess humans have different ways of surviving," he said. Her gaze softened. "They will accept you, but not fully yet. Only I can grant the bond that makes a human part of our tribe." Evan tilted his head. "Bond?" Linera's silver eyes met his. "The bond is deeper than friendship. It is recognition. It is mating. And it is dangerous. To both of us, but you. You have the courage. You do not run. You do not falter. That is why I followed you into this forest." Evan swallowed, realizing the weight of her words. "Why did you follow me?" Linera's ears twitched, her tail flicking once. "I sensed you were different. That human courage. Unusual. That is why I protected you." and why I will now claim you for the ritual, for my people, and for myself. Evan's heart beat faster, not with fear, but with anticipation. So, you trust me? He asked. Lynera paused, then nodded slowly. Yes, I trust you enough to do this. Ritual, but it is dangerous. My people do not allow mistakes. The Alpha stepped forward, fangs bared, claws gleaming. Do you accept him? He growled, questioning Lynera's decision. She nodded low and firm. I claim him as worthy. Test him no longer. The Alpha snarled softly, unsure. Evan noticed that even the most aggressive warriors hesitated now. They were confused. Human behavior was unpredictable, but his actions had earned their respect. Lynera stepped close to Evan again, her silver eyes intense. You do not understand the danger fully yet, she whispered. But I warned you, human. And you chose to stay. You chose trust. That is why you live. Evan smiled faintly. I've always liked dangerous choices. She didn't answer immediately. Instead, she touched his cheek lightly, a gesture that was both protective and intimate. Do not think this ends here, she said. The forest watches. My people watch. And your courage. It will be tested again, soon. Evan's eyes followed the shadows in the trees. He knew she was right. But for the first time, he didn't feel fear. He had passed. He had survived. And somehow, he had earned a place among the Varen for now. The new UNDRSDND, the warriors, slowly backed away, leaving Lynera and Evan alone in the glowing clearing. Lynera exhaled, tension leaving her body in a soft wave. You are remarkable, human, she murmured. You have no idea what you've done. Evan shrugged. Survived. That's what I did. Lynera's ears flicked again. You will survive because you are clever. Because you are brave. And because you are different. Humans rarely show the combination of instincts and trust that you do. That is why I am drawn to you. Evan blinked. That sounds complicated. Lynera's lips curved into a faint smile. It is, and it will become more so. Soon you will understand, my people, our ways, and why I warned you about the bite. Soon the full danger will become clear. But for now, you have earned a reprieve. Evan nodded slowly. He felt the forest around him alive, dangerous, and yet strangely accepting. Lynera's silver eyes caught his in the moonlight. You are not just brave, human, she whispered. You are worthy, and with that, she led him deeper into the forest. Not as prey, not as intruder, but as someone who had begun to earn a place in the wild. Beautiful, terrifying world of the Varen. The night carried on, the forest watching every move. And somewhere deep within the trees, unseen eyes continued to follow them, ready for the next challenge. The first part of the ritual was over. But the true test, the trial of trust, courage, and the strange bond between human and Varen, had only just begun. The forest seemed quieter now. Not peaceful, not calm, but holding its breath. Lynera led Evan through a narrow path between towering trees whose roots twisted like snakes, glowing faintly under the alien moonlight. Shadows danced across the ground. Every branch, every leaf seemed alive, watching, waiting. The three Varen warriors from before had returned to the treetops, their glowing eyes still following them. Even they, hardened by instinct and ritual, were hesitant. Humans did not behave like this. Humans did not stay calm when confronted by death. Evan could feel their gazes on him, but he did not falter. He had survived their tests, endured their pain, and shown trust in Lynera. Now he was stepping into the final challenge, the trial that would determine if he would truly belong among the Varen. The elders Tiri Elias had In a clearing filled with bioluminescent flowers, 3 figures emerged. Tall, older, with fur tinged in silver and bronze, the elders of the Varen tribe. Their presence was commanding. They moved like shadows, but every step carried authority. Linera stopped. "This is the council," she whispered. "They will judge you, human. They will determine if you are worthy of the bond." Evan swallowed but kept his posture steady. He had expected danger, but the seriousness of this moment hit him harder than any attack. He realized these creatures had lived for decades, honed instincts sharper than any weapon. And now, they were studying him. The tallest elder stepped forward, fangs glinting faintly. "Human," he said in a voice like gravel over steel, "you have passed the tests of courage, endurance, and trust. But will you pass the trial of understanding? Of instinct? Of loyalty to our ways?" Evan nodded. I will do my best." Linera's hand brushed against his shoulder, a silent reassurance. "You must," she said softly. "Fail, and you will not survive. Succeed, and you will change everything for your kind. And mine." The elders exchanged glances, clicking softly with their throats. The first test, they explained, was fear. A dark pit lay at the center of the clearing, filled with whisper beasts, creatures that preyed on mind and senses, attacking first through terror, then through bite. "You will enter," the elder said. "You will walk into the nest, alone. Show courage. Show understanding. Only then may you proceed." Evan nodded, stepping forward. The shadows in the pit shifted. Eyes glowed red. A low, echoing growl filled the clearing. He swallowed, feeling the danger pressing into him. And then he walked forward, slow and steady, never looking back. The whisper beasts lunged with sudden speed, attempting to freeze him with fear. But Evan's mind was focused. He breathed calmly, moved with purpose, and even when the shadows swirled around him, he did not flinch. When the last creature hesitated, confused by his lack of terror, Evan emerged from the pit. Linera's silver eyes gleamed with pride. "You are remarkable," she whispered. Most humans would have screamed or run. The trial of PA and the second test was even more personal. The elders called it pain, a bite that marked the human as part of the Varen tradition. "You will endure," one elder said, "for only through acceptance of pain does a bond form." Linera stepped closer. "This is not meant to kill you," she explained. "But it will hurt, and it will prove your strength." Evan nodded. "I'm ready." The alpha warrior from before moved forward, claws sharp, fangs glinting. He bit Evan's shoulder, releasing venom that burned, but did not paralyze. Evan gritted his teeth, enduring the sharp pain. Another strike grazed his arm, and he felt fire running along his nerves. But he held steady. Linera whispered softly in his ear, "You are stronger than I imagined." Her touch, light on his skin, steadied him even as the pain spread. When the strike stopped, Evan's clothes were torn, his skin scratched and bruised. But he remained standing. The elders clicked their throats in approval. "You endure pain like the strongest of us," the lead elder said. "Few humans would survive this." Evan let out a long breath, muscles trembling but mind steady. "I've always believed pain is temporary," he said. Linera smiled faintly, admiration flickering in her silver eyes. The final test, trust and bondiange, the last trial, was the most difficult. It was called the ritual of trust, the moment where Linera would bite him, not in anger, not in instinct, but as a declaration of bond. Linera's eyes locked on his. "You understand what this means, human," she whispered. "If you fail, even slightly, my people may turn against both of us." Evan nodded. "I understand. And I trust you." Linera hesitated for a heartbeat, then leaned closer. Her fangs grazed his throat. The sensation was electric, alien, almost painful, But he did not flinch. The elders murmured among themselves. Even hardened Varen warriors were shocked. No human had ever shown such willingness, such absolute trust, and fearlessness all at once. Lynera bit lightly, marking him. It was not deep enough to hurt permanently, but enough to show ownership, respect, and connection. Her eyes met his, wide and intense. "You are extraordinary," she whispered. The Alpha stepped forward, bowing slightly in acknowledgement. "You have earned your place," he said. "The first human, recognized as part of our tribe." Evan blinked, realizing the enormity of the moment. He had survived, passed all trials, and formed a bond that no human had ever done before. Lynera's lips curved into a faint smile. "You trusted me. Completely. That is why you live. That is why you are worthy." The forest accepts him. The forest seemed to shift around them. The shadows softened. The glowing flowers pulsed gently, as if acknowledging him. The warriors slowly stepped back, leaving Evan and Lynera alone in the clearing. "You are no longer an intruder," Lynera said quietly. "You belong here, with me and with my people." Evan felt a strange mix of pride, relief, and awe. "This is incredible," he said softly. "I never imagined I'd earn this." Lynera's silver eyes softened. "Humans are unpredictable," she whispered. "Your courage, your calm, it is unusual. That is why I followed you. That is why I claimed you." Evan swallowed. "I didn't expect to become part of anything like this." "You are part of something greater now," she said, brushing his shoulder gently. "You are part of the Varen forest, the tribe, and me." A moment of quiet before the next Esterum. For a few minutes, they walked in silence. No threat came from the shadows. No growl echoed through the trees. The forest seemed at peace, or at least temporarily so. Lynera glanced at him. "You must know," she said softly. "My people will watch you. They will continue to test your instincts, your courage, your loyalty. You are different, but they do not fully understand that yet." Evan nodded. "I can handle that." She smiled faintly, almost shyly. "You are not like the others. You do not fear death, nor pain, nor instinct. That is why you survive. That is why I am drawn to you." He looked at her, feeling the weight of the moment. "You warned me about the bite," he said, "and I trusted you anyway. I guess that's the start of our bond." Lynera's eyes glimmered in the moonlight. "Yes," she whispered. "The start of something that will terrify my people. And maybe yours." The forest watched his eyes as they walked further. The forest seemed to watch them more closely. Glowing eyes blinked from the treetops. Shadows shifted along the ground. The whispers of distant creatures echoed faintly. Evan felt a thrill. He had survived trials no human had before. He had passed tests of fear, pain, and trust. He had formed a bond with a Varen, the first human ever to do so. And yet, he knew the forest was far from done with him. Lynera touched his arm gently. "You are not safe yet," she said softly. "But you are mine. And for now, that is enough." Evan nodded. "I'll follow you, wherever this goes." And together, they walked deeper into the glowing, dangerous forest, leaving shadows behind, but stepping into a future neither human nor Varen had ever imagined.